But many top GOP officials and lawmakers are saying pass on attending the convention this year. And the question remains, who will be Donald Trump's running mate? So here to weigh in, Emily Jashinsky of Young Americans Foundation and talk radio host Ethan Bierman. Thank you both for joining me. All right, Emily, I want to start with you. I want to take a short look back and recap the week that Donald Trump had, specifically his meeting with some lawmakers on the Hill, and then ask you, what do you expect 9 days from now at the convention?
Yeah, so the convention is going to be really interesting. I think it's, from this vantage point right now, we really don't know what's going to happen. I think this is the hurdle that we need to clear, because for the past year, there's been so much uncertainty in this race. And now that Donald Trump is the presumptive nominee, there's still a question. There's still the Never Trump movement is clinging to the shred of hope that's left. And as soon as you can clear that hurdle at the convention and you can put on the show that Donald Trump is planning, and we're seeing more and more information come out of it, he's going to come out of it. He's going to emerge the solid nominee and start to move on to the next phase of the campaign, which is where things will really begin to clarify, where the trajectory of the race will really begin to clarify. Well, he'll put himself, his strategy will clarify against Secretary Clinton. So the convention, I really think, is the last hurdle to getting into the last leg of the race, and that's coming up really quickly.
All right, Ethan, I want to get your reaction because I heard Emily say the shred of hope for the Never Trump movement. And full disclosure, please correct me if I'm wrong, I believe you're a Never Trumper.
I am a Never Trumper, and it's interesting. She's right, though. If he's able to pull it together at the convention and come out as the nominee, the question of who is going to be his vice president is really an interesting one, because to your point, everybody's kind of falling to the side. They're not even going to the convention. And anybody who has political aspirations, I look at Mike Pence on that short list, and why would he want to be the vice president anyway? And he needs to do something. Donald Trump needs to do something, and if he's running a full wild card campaign up to this point, why doesn't he continue with that? You know, I'd love to see somebody like a Condoleezza Rice who's not even in the running, so why not go full wild card and choose somebody like Omarosa?
You also mentioned, if I'm not mistaken, you supported him choosing his daughter.
Well, look, Ivanka is actually a fascinating candidate, and if she was running for president, I would probably
But how does that play into the fact that we've been
fully.
saying, you know, maybe he needs someone with executive experience, maybe someone who's run a state and who knows how to work a government agency?
So, well, the issue there, so like I said, Condi Rice, Mike Pence, I liked Joni Ernst, but she dropped out. You know, we have some good candidates, but nobody wants to be in his shadow. So his daughter, while fascinating to me and seems very intelligent, you know, we have the nepotism and political aristocracy problem that you run into there. But that's where, you know, like I said, you might even joke or think it's a joke when I throw out Omarosa as a wild card candidate. She worked in the Clinton White House. She helped write the Telecommunications Act. She has a PhD. And she's a loyal supporter of his, and you know she will work for him. Look, like I said, I'd love to see Condi Rice. She's not in the mix. Why not go full wild card Omarosa?
All right, Emily, I'm going to give you the last word here. You know, we heard Ethan say no one wants to be in his shadow, but perhaps we've heard some lawmakers who do. Governor Chris Christie, Newt Gingrich, there's people who may want to be in his shadow.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, I think we're missing 3 really interesting candidates and 3, I think, really likely candidates. There's one undercard that is fascinating to me, and that is the choice of going with Congressman Marsha Blackburn. I think that would be a really interesting choice. She's a woman. It's very, it would be a strategic move going up against potentially the first female president. And she does have the executive experience you were talking about, Elizabeth. So I think Marsha Blackburn would be an interesting choice. Speaker Newt Gingrich, very interesting choice to rally the conservative base that he needs to drive turnout up on Election Day. I also think this is kind of breaking right now, but he's looking at General Michael Flynn, and that is, it's said that Trump is pushing that vetting process along himself. So those are 3 candidates that are very interesting choices, and we'll have to watch how it plays out at the convention, but it's very much going to be interesting.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining me, both of you. I appreciate